That dog right there. Yeah, you, Jimmy. Yeah, you. Just saved us a truck. Let him out. And he started barking. I looked out and see what was going on. There's a cloud of smoke above this thing. I accidentally left the batteries connected last night. But it doesn't normally do that. So, yeah, could have been worse. Thanks to a great dog, saving the day. Welcome back, the old two-stroker YouTube channel. My name's Wayne. This here is my 1982 Marmon. With, you guessed it, 3408 Kitty Pillar. In the last video, you guys saw Jimmy save this truck. Or at least me explaining how Jimmy saved this truck. I'm getting on film because we weren't exactly planning for the truck to set itself on fire. Today's video, we've got to fix that issue. Which means we're going to convert it to 12-volt start and delete this mess. And I'm going to show you all how to do that without a wiring diagram for the truck. Because these series parallels work the same way regardless of what truck they're on. The terminals all go to the same. So if you can figure out where the terminals go, you can know which wire to put where and make your dreams a reality. Let's get to it because it's going to get freaking hot. Let's go. First things first, I'm going to dump that starter off of there. Let's do that. And it's not even tight. See that? It's just flimsy. Probably don't want to break the cable. Oh, yeah. This definitely has to happen. This thing is bad. That's been loose a while, boys. Everything's got to be a struggle. Alright, hammered the wrench on. Let's see if that... Oh, yeah. Stinks. Alright, so those two are power here. This is a friggin' mess. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get this in there even. Let's see if this works. I'll pull that one out. At least get us close. I'm gonna get this inside one is the real problem. My tool doesn't fit because it's 9/16. I don't know why these bolts are a different size depending on Cat or Detroit. That's stupid. I can't even get on this one. This is a problem. So I believe the plan of attack is going to be to... I'm going to pull these two bottoms out and then pull the top out and let it fall. I don't know how we're going to get the new one in here. I'm not going to worry about that until it's time to worry about that. I'm hoping it's a little bit better design. These starters are such a f***ing ignorant design. There, I guess I gotta take that bolt out. That means this thing's probably gonna hit me in the face and I'm gonna lose it. Alright, boys. We're just gonna give her. I've had enough. Jeez. Does this even come out of here? I don't know that it does. No way. You're f***ing kidding me. I think you gotta take the oil filter off. That's f***ing smart. Either that or I gotta pull that. Man. Straight disbelief at this point, boys. There we go. There we go. This is a little stuck. Watch yourselves. Oh! F*** you! Oh, it landed right on my hand. Look at this thing. F*** you! I feel better. Don't you? Somebody replaced it once. That's a sticker of failure right there. Oh, I feel better. Tired. Better nonetheless. Okay. To the wiring department. Alright, let's put this fresh new Chinese unit in here. You can get these things pretty reasonable, dude. I think this thing was like 160 bucks on eBay. Look at how fat my face is when I'm laying down scrunched up. No charge. The sand sucks to lay in when you're working, boys. Ready? And up. Oh, so much lighter. Like a glove. Now what I do have to do is I have to go get lock washers for these. Alright, fellas. I went through all the trouble of cleaning the bolts off the parts washer. I hate dealing with this old grease. So anytime I take something off, I try to clean it up. But I got two other bolts in, started, hand tight, and I got lock washers on them now. I've never seen one without a lock washer, so I'm gonna put it on there, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You can holler at me in the comments if you'd like. Look at how much nicer this is. You can get a ratchet in here, actually get on the bolt. Oh yeah, look, you can get a ratchet in here. Click. That's holding the truck together officially. What a treat. Right is tight. Tight is right, baby. And I'm not gonna lie to you fellas, I thought this would be terrible to get at, but it's really not bad. Look, I can get my hand right in down to it, thread it on there, no big deal. Let's get the ratchet. Really better than I thought. I thought the top one was gonna be the worst one. Now, our ground wires are up there. It goes to the block. You can see that in the frame. That's these two here. They're gonna go back onto this port. This is our power, and then this is gonna be our starter actuator. But we're gonna have to do some wiring changes. Let me explain how a 24 volt system works. I'll put in a clip. I'm gonna have to film that indoors with the wiring diagram so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Basically, how that works. Your key switch does not act directly on the starter. So your key switch or your start button, whatever it is still 12 volts. And it comes back here and it operates on this terminal right here. Your key switch activates this terminal. Start from the top here. This thing has two essentially modes. It has cranking mode and it has charging mode. So anytime other than when you're cranking, this thing is in the charging mode. What happens when we hit the button or the key to crank this thing? That's cranking mode. Here's how it works. You got two fat cables coming into this thing from your battery banks. The one on the right here with the corroded end, circled here, that's your 12 volt positive coming from your second battery bank. The one on the left next to the burnt wire is your 12 volt negative coming from your first battery bank. You hit your dash button or key switch, it puts power to this terminal here, circled here. The terminal to the left, circled here, is the ground. These two combined activate this, what's essentially a solenoid or a relay. When you do that, the major thing that happens is your right hand side 12 volt positive battery bank lug, the large terminal, is connected to the negative side of the first battery bank. That puts your two battery banks in series, which makes them 24 volts going to your starter. As soon as that solenoid actuates, it pulls in another set of contacts. And that set of contacts is up here. It's this big lug in the center circled. That's coming back from your starter. It now has 24 volts on it. And because the solenoid is actuated, it puts that 24 volts that it's receiving in from that wire to this terminal circled here with the yellow thing on it. That wire goes to your starter solenoid. If you have a 24 volt starter, the solenoid also needs 24 volts. This is how that happens, through the secondary set of contacts. That's it. That's as simple as the circuit is. That's cranking. When you're not cranking, in other words, you're in the charge mode, you still have 12 volt power here coming in on the right hand side, big terminal, and you still have 12 volt negative on the left hand side. The only thing grounding that first bank of batteries, this terminal circled here with the burn up wire on it, runs to the frame. That is your ground for charging. While you are charging, what happens? This wire with the blue lug on it is from the alternator. That's your alternator hot wire. Alternator power coming in through this wire then is directly connected to that second bank of batteries positive terminal. Well, how does it charge the first bank? That's the second side of contacts inside the front of this thing. Remember, you have that wire coming from your starter where 24 volt hot comes back into the series parallel. That wire is now what charges that first bank of battery. I'll put a diagram on screen so you can see a little bit about what I'm talking about, but that's essentially how that works. If you're bypassing a series parallel, you want to just get rid of it. You are going to delete the center terminal circled now, and you're going to join the two wires circled now. Your alternator wire circled, you're going to cut back and put to the positive lug on your starter. You can eliminate the two fat cables coming from your batteries. Negative side circled here, you can put to chassis ground, a battery cutoff switch, or however you want to do that. That goes to ground. This positive wire you can then put to positive side of bank 1 batteries. But that's a quick, easy way to delete your series parallel and move on with your life. Put a 12 volt starter in, you'll be better off. You can start a 3408, I know from experience, on one battery with one of these 39 MTs. The part number, I don't know if you could see it now because I put the thing in. I will display this part number on screen. This part number is the same for 892, 1271, 3408, 3406. They all take, this is an SAE standard housing. They all take an 11 tooth pinion gear, or Bendix, whatever you want to call it. 11 tooth. All of the large engines are basically the same. I'll put that part number on screen. Make your lives easy. Go get one of them. Jam it on there. Cut your harness. Put the two wires together. Fix your power wires, and you are done. Your 12 volt start. Enjoy. No charge for this information. All right. So our start wire, this one, no, that one, comes in from this shitty harness. Let's cut this apart. Somebody's been in here. We know how that goes. So I just want to make mention, when you guys are doing this stuff, you can't just trust what you would think. So you see this red wire? See how it's coming from the alternator? Let me show you something. Never rule out somebody else's stupidity. That red wire, what's that say? It says ground. That red wire is grounding that alternator. If you put that to the battery, you'd have a problem. So you gotta always pay attention. So our hot side is coming off over here. It's kind of haggard looking. I might change these around. I haven't decided yet. I gotta find out where this side of it goes. I don't know. It goes down here, in this, and into that harness. So I think that goes to the cab. My guess is somebody just remade this ground wire, and all they had was red wire. Whatever. It does indeed go to the frame ground next to the starter here. Right here. Goes through there. That hot side of that alternator comes over here in this shitty loom right there. Here. Runs through the chassis, but this is it here. It runs like external to the frame rail through here, because I believe somebody's been in here and done all this and then just like half-ass put it back together. And then runs up here to this lug, like I was saying, for charging. Next, that start lug, I'm guessing, just based on how the person worked when they did this, it's going to be this wire right here. It's into the same loom, or the same cluster of looms that goes in that direction. So that's my guess. I'm going to cut it, strip it, and use the voltmeter to test it. All right, I've got that wire cut. Any bets? Dang, I don't know if she's gonna reach. Get me close. You. Ha! Gump. You are a genius.
You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. Okay.
What? What the fuck? 3 ohms. Oh, well, there's resistance on it. That's why. That's the resistance in the series parallel. No big deal. But I do need to see that though. It needs to be a dead short. Let me see if I can get this on its side so I can maybe see it. Sorry, boys. I know. Yeah, that's it. That's when I get actual resistance because we're going through the series parallel. But if I disconnected that wire, let's do that. I'll just show you. We'll disconnect it. Somebody's definitely been in here. Disconnected this wire. There's a reason it's got a red zip tie on it. I'm sure of it. Let's see what we got. Bingo! Smartest man to ever walk the earth. Now that I've identified that wire, this side of it, we're just gonna delete this because we don't need it anymore. This is trash. But now that I know where this goes to the start wire on the dash, I can crimp onto it and bring it to the starter where it needs to go. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull some of this wire out, maybe not, and use it to scab a piece onto that. First, I wanna find where that harness should go and try to do it a cleaner way. This is all deleted. We no longer need because we're 12 volt start, or we're gonna be. Look at how much wiring we can save. This is how many potentials for shorts eliminated. I'm very happy about it. It's much cleaner under the truck. We could clean this up, make it look like something. I still got to deal with the batteries. Haven't done that yet. Getting there. All right, y'all, check this out. I'm under here messing with stuff. What I'm trying to do is run this wire in a clean manner from back here where I spliced it up to over. It's got to attach to here. This was the alternator charge wire here that I caught. But look what I found. I went to move it over here in front. Look at that. You think that's been causing a bit of an electrical problem? It was just duct tape, so somebody knew about it and they left it like that. I think I can get enough out of the wire to cut it here and use that as the terminal. It's because it's going to go right here now. So I think it'll actually work for what I'm doing. But like, that could have caused a fire so easily. Especially all the grease and shit everywhere. This stuff lights up like right now. People are idiots. And what I got to be careful of is if you look back here, they've got all these wires jammed up right against this clutch linkage. Not great. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to get them secured up out of the way. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. Then I will cut this to length and put a terminal on it. I'm going to cut this off now though. I just cut this, looked up, and look what I see. Look at it. Broken in 2 spots. It's all green. Oh yeah, we can just snap this off. Nice. Sick. We're gonna have to make a power wire. That's horse. Junk. Well, fellas, the hits just keep coming. Both of these have super high resistance going through them, so I'm gonna replace them. I think I'm only gonna use one. I don't think we need one on the positive side. I haven't decided yet, but I'm pretty sure that's how I'm gonna do it. I hate these battery terminals. Now I gotta get some special terminal that 2 wires can go into so I can join the 2 banks of the batteries together. Just put post terminals. Why do these things even still exist? So, off to the store I go. All right, the nice folks in my local Napa, shout out to you, Ken, had actually a battery disconnect, so the battery disconnect was bad as well, and I'll show you what I mean. Basically, this should have, when you connect to it, like this, and turn it on, it should show like almost 0 ohms. It should show a dead short. And it shows like 1 million ohms because it's shitty on the inside. It's not making a good connection. Luckily I checked it. This thing ought to crank a lot faster. This thing was very slow to crank. And if you remember, I think that's why it was so hard to start. I had this one. It's an Eklund. Not thrilled about that. I'm pretty sure they're made by Cole Hersey though. These are genuine Cole Herseys and 75908. And they're scrap. So they also had my battery terminal, this thing here. So we're gonna crimp this on there. It'll go there like that. That's the plan. I'll bring you back when we're closer to success. I'm going back now. Oh, great. Good. No charge. I'll tell you what, it ain't getting a battery cable, so it is what it is, folks. It ain't here for that. All right, I've never used this device before, so let's see how it does. It don't look like it's enough. Let me get the ratchet. I don't know, man. I feel like I'd be better off just hitting that with a hammer. Boys, what the f? Figured out you can counterhold it with a wrench. So I counterheld it with a wrench, and it freaking exploded, dude. I wasn't even yarning on it. Save your money, don't buy that. All right, here's where we're at. I got that kind of figured out. We got our new battery shut off. Lord willing, the 2 ground wires you see down here will reach to these 2 negative terminals. We don't know yet, but we're gonna find out. Next, what I got going on up here, I gotta make this alternator cable before I can go any further. So let's do that. We gotta take it off up there. I'm not really sure what the deal is here, fellas. So if you guys have a Marmon, if anybody has a Marmon, you could tell me. I greatly appreciate it. Why are the grounds red? Is that a thing with Marmons, or is that because this guy was an idiot? I'd like to know. All right, we're all hooked up down here. I got the actual start button just jammed onto the terminal for now until I make sure this is all good. I think everything's all set here. My battery cables are actually going to reach, I'm pretty sure. So let me do this. Let's connect them and see if it blows up and kills me. We'll start there. So what I'm going to do is turn that on. That's a good sign. I think we're good to actually connect. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pop the door. The dome light should come on. You can never be too careful when you're messing with the electronicals, boys, because I'm not trying to have another generator episode, all right? Oh boy. That should have came on. Nothing's warm. I don't know, I don't smell anything. I mean, everything is connected. Alternator wires ran. It's plugged in up there, it's tight. I even scrubbed those terminals. This should give me 12. 12 there. 12 there. So I don't got nothing going on weird with the connections, I don't think. Let's see, negative, positive, negative, positive. So that's 12 going to the truck, that's right. Oh, I do have a cab light. Maybe the switch was just stuck or something, I don't know. There we go. The only thing we actually really need to do is connect. Okay, we gotta tighten these terminals here. That's one of the only things left. Turn this off. Make sure we don't have a dome light. And we don't. Now let's tighten these up. Okay. This should be power. I should have. Gotta be this messing with me. No buzzer. I'm gonna key it up. I want to look at the voltage on the dash and see what I got in there. 12 volts. Do we crank it? Yes, we do. Ready? Everybody ready? got the camera. I was just looking for that. It lives.
They didn't burn it down.
Not yet. Here's what I got.
It's really hard to see.
I know, it's dark. 13 volts. It's trying to charge. It keeps coming up gradually, so I just think it's the batteries might be super low. I'm not really sure. The alternator should be putting out more than it is. I'm gonna go check it on the starter and see if it's putting more voltage, like maybe the connection's maybe somewhere or something.
Gotcha.
13.2, so about the same. That alternator ought to be putting out more than that. The alternator ground wire is anything like the power wire. It's probably a little above.
Gotcha.
13.3. Really should be going up there when you rev it. So I should be seeing, like with the batteries at 12.4, realistically this should be putting out like 14 volts. So it's probably got a bad winding in the alternator or the voltage regulator, or it's got a rev, but at least it starts. I'm gonna go over and take a look. See what the alternator's actually doing. 13.4, not great. And it goes down when you rev it. Probably needs an alternator, but it's at least charged. So that didn't make a difference. Closing the door. Wanted to see if it had like a large voltage drop. Watch that number. Tell me if it moves. Change?
No?
Okay, hang on. Keep watching.
It went down!
What's it at now?
13.24!
What about now?
13.11! 08! 7! It's going down! 13.01!
Needs an alternator. Thank you for checking that for me. But at least it's charged. The reason why we check the voltage in a couple different places is because if there's excess resistance in the battery cutoff switch or something like that, you'll see that voltage drop back here at the batteries, but at the alternator it'll remain true voltage. So that's why we checked that, because I knew these were bad, so we just want to verify the new one was good, even though we already verified it with the voltmeter. That only puts like almost zero load on stuff, so it's good to check it like with an actual load. We need an alternator, but we don't need it today.
Yeah.
Next, what we're going to do is we're going to check this. So batteries were charging because they were 12.4 when we started, and they're 12.8. So it is putting some voltage to them, not enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to check this thing for a draw, and how we do that is DC amps. So how we do this is we turn the disconnect off, and then we jump across the disconnect, and that'll tell us if there's any kind of draw on the batteries. It's not really much draw.
How much draw is that?
Like 31 milliamps. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go open the door, and then we're gonna do it again. And you'll see that dome light is probably gonna consume like 2 amps would be my guess. Dome light's off. It shouldn't be drawn enough to pop the fuse in the meter, but we'll see.
Oh.
Is all mine on?
Yeah.
Right at 2 amps. Gump yard genius. Do me a favor, shut the door. And now my draw is
sorry.
03. So we're doing all right. I'll allow it. Okay. I would imagine you're out here because it's time for dinner.
I was curious if you wanted to eat.
I thought I wasn't eating today. I thought you said I was too fat.
I did not say that.
That's what you said. You said,
Are you done?
you're fat. You're
I did not.
Eat dinner ever again. All right, boys and girls. Next day. We're back at it. I moved it over here to the pad because laying in the sand. I don't know if you ever laid in the sand when you're sweating. Don't recommend it. It's terrible. But I wanted to just take a minute to marvel at the absolutely fantastic job that Marmon did with wiring from the factory. I mean, this is just next level quality, serviceability, A+. Look, everything's labeled, everything's colored, so you can't even mix up the wires if you wanted to. No, that's sarcasm. This is the most poorly built vehicle I've ever been around. Genuinely. That says a lot. Because I used to work for GM. It's atrocious. What do you mean you're not supposed to bolt to the flanges? Nah, that's a great spot for a ground. I've got this tidied up under here. Is that wire? No. This is terrible, but I moved all this harness away from the clutch linkage because it was all rubbing. That took like 15 zip ties because they just threw wires at this truck and said, here you go, look at this.
A little knot here. Work on that.
There's not even evidence there used to be a loom there. Unbelievable. But at least we got our nice end on that. She's ready to go there. All I've got to do is I'm going to zip tie the alternator charge wire. I'll probably zip tie it to this ground here or something so I don't want it to lay against the engine block there. I don't know if you can see that, but I'd really much prefer it to be like over here somewhere. Or maybe we could zip tie it up there so it kind of holds its position. I'm not sure yet, but we will take care of that because I do not wire things that way. I don't know how this thing hadn't burned down yet. I mean, it only tried once for me. I can't imagine running this thing down the road every day and not having a fire. It's depressing to look at, genuinely. All right, enough bitching. My allergies are freaking killing me. I'm like hard on the allergy meds, ain't helping. So I apologize. Zip tied all that back there because it was half hanging on the throttle linkage. Boys, it's bad. Also, while I was doing that, I noticed somebody put this treadle pedal in. And, yeah, this line here, I don't think it's supposed to do that, so maybe we'll tighten that up. Oh, there's another one. Why tighten stuff when you could just leave it loose? Is that supposed to go maybe over here? That certainly kind of keeps that hose out of harm's way a little bit more. I wonder if that's the way it was supposed to go. That feels better. Almost don't dare touch anything else. All right, let's move on before we find another fault. I'm pretty sure this is... yeah. So I shouldn't have hit nothing. Moving on then. All right, so since we're working on the Marmon, part of that 1224 conversion, I want to see why this melted down. See if there was anything in here that looks a little weird. Junk. Ooh, boys. That is the smell. Oh yeah. Look at that. She melted right down. Look at that. You can see it's all heat bubbled here and there. Oh, and you should smell her. Whoo! No bueno. Let's see if it comes apart. Feels crunchy. Spicy. Look at that. God, that one was welded. Contacts destroyed there. I'd imagine our wafer is going to be pretty much junk. Oh God, This thing reeks. Oh yeah, melted right out. Typical. I'm surprised that was even starting, genuinely. I think our smoking gun is right here. I think this was a loose connection. And you could see it had melted and fused together right here. I think this got hot. It must have been a loose connection with the batteries turned on. Oh, what's that? Right there. That's a different leg though. But see, this one's engaged when it's like this. So this was the one right here. Yeah, and the connection's all shitty. See, that connection's all junk right there. So that's what happened. It was just a loose connection. It got hot and melted down. And got hot enough to take that wire with it. That one. Because that's what that connects to. Boy, it smells like failure. Well, that solves the mystery of that. Look at this. This was an old one, boys. Delco Remy. Legit old school. Shame. She gone. We're just going to throw this in the trash. I should put it on the wall. Shame. But we got packages to open. So this box come from Jason Keeler of Keeler Custom Restorations. His wife Lori writes, Sears Parallel Switch, KCR shirt, and ball cap. Thank you for sharing your escapades on your channel. My husband, and especially my father-in-law Don, love to watch. Appreciate you. Have a great day. All the best. Lori, on behalf of Jason. Thank you very much. Ooh. Sick. We'll put that right on the wall. What's this? This has got to be the Series Parallel. Oh, she's a beaut, Clark. Brandy new. Get that out of here. Made in USA. That makes it good. Sick. I don't make them like that anymore. Thank you very much for sending that. So that was super cool of them. Big shout out to them. Don, appreciate you watching, brother. Jason, thank you for the hat and the friggin' Series Parallel. I'd love to say we were going to use it on the Marmon, but I kind of told you what our plans was for this already anyway. But I appreciate it. She'll definitely come in handy. I'm sure it's going to bail me out of a jam at some point. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to send me something, you can send it to Old Two Stroker, P.O. Box 13, Broad Albin, New York, 12025. Address is on the website. Worst case, speaking of the website, pop on over to old2sugar.com and get yourself something nice. Huge shout out to you patrons. Greatly appreciate you guys. More and more every week. I can't thank you enough. We will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully this video helps somebody convert their truck from 24 volt start to 12. Thanks for watching.